Welcome back to Moto 41 as we finish up part 3 of the CB750 build. So if you joined us for the first 2 episodes, thank you. If not, we'll give you a quick refresher now, but we basically bought a CB750. We went up to Sacramento to collect it, and the idea of this video series was to work out what does it cost to really get these old vintage bikes back on the road. So you pick up a barn find or a garage find or something that's been sitting in somebody's shed for 15-20 years. How much does it cost in parts to get it back together, to get it running, to get it safe? We've gone through that process. We'll share all the results with you now. And let's put on the screen where we're up to with the costs from the videos in part 1 and part 2.
So as the numbers pop up, you can see in part 1 we spent most of the episode working on carbs, getting the bike to run, changing fluids, rubbers, etc. All the essential pieces you need to get it to start. And in part 2 we worked on fit, finish, cosmetic things, fork oil, brakes, balancing carbs and stuff like that. So overall, we'd spent $1,594 before the start of this video. Here's just a quick recap on the original bike as we picked it up, as we unloaded it from the truck. And as you can see, cosmetically, it's a little beaten up. Paintwork was bad. We've got a big dent in the tank. It was pretty clean inside. We're able to save that. The gauges were good, but we knew if it was going to be presentable, we'd need to do something with the seat and the plastics. The rear tail light lens was cracked and had leaked water. The tyres were, I don't know how old, they weren't even date stamped, so they definitely needed changing. So $1,594 in so far. Let's press on with part 3 and get this bike finished and back on the road.
So that's where we're up to in terms of costs on the this particular, the 78 CB750, on and how much we spent to get it to run, to get it safe. We have finished the paint. We weren't going to paint it originally, but because the side covers were so bad and because they were dropping to pieces when we pulled them off the bike, I couldn't really leave black plastic side covers, and it's actually very hard to find good second-hand replacements, and if you do, they're normally in the same condition as the ones you've taken off. So we did go to the expense of painting the bike. That's going to add significantly to the cost, but I think it's worth it given the bike is so original and it actually looks pretty presentable as it is. So let's finish up those last few cosmetic jobs. As I said, you can always keep going and keep going and keep going on this. It's really hard to stop. There's a few things I'll probably do after we're finished here because it'll just bug me if I don't. But overall, I think we're left with a really nice 78 CB750. It's going to be a nice runner rider, something we can use, should be very reliable. And let's get into it. Let's finish off this last few minutes of the CB750. So we can see the bend of the new bar is very similar. It's a little shorter, a little bit lower, which I actually like. I always feel the original one's a little bit high, but again, it looks like we've got about an inch on either end that we're gonna trim off. So let's get the new ones on, and then we can trim them up and get them to fit. And finally, just lining up the old bars against a straight edge. I can line it up to the straight edge of the wood here on my bench, and I can see that I've got probably half an inch or so of gap there, and I can see there's no gap there at all. So happy with that. That proves my eyesight correct, and that the bars did have a little bend on them. Actually, on second thoughts, I'm not going to trim the bars. I've actually just gently clamped them in my vise with some soft jaws, and I can see that you can see the difference in the bend. But I can also see that actually there's virtually no difference. There's maybe 5 mil, 6 mil difference between the ends. So I think we'll just fit them as they are and see what they look like.
So as we loosen off the perches for the clutch and for the front brake master cylinder, we can get those cleared off and away from the bar. Then we can drop the bars off, remove the little plastic caps that cover the hex nuts, and then we can get the bars switched over, see how they look. So there we are. I think that's well worth every dollar. That's really brightened up the cockpit area of the bike. That looks much better. So as we look at the back of the bike, you can see we changed the chain in episode 2. That looks much better. We also did the tyres as well. The tyre, I feel I've probably put one on that's a little too short. We may have to change that. It's a little hard to get on the stand. But the exhaust pipes on the end were really bugging me. It looked awful. You've got all that rust and corrosion on both sides. Luckily they're not damaged. They've not been punctured or poked holes in, so they sound absolutely stock. They're good. But I think we'll spend a little bit of time, get rid of that rust, put a little bit of ceramic black paint in there, and it should tidy it up nicely. So as you use our wire brush on the drill just to bust off the rust, you can see remnants of the old flat black, it's kind of a satin coloured paint that was in the end cans, in the end of the cans before. So we'll work our way through. We'll use the drill, and also we'll use a Dremel just to get inside the pipes and also to remove the final pieces of rust around those inner silencer tubes. Then we can get the pipes masked up. Once they're masked up, we'll just use an airbrush to carefully put some ceramic black paint in there. It'll dry it'll look kind of glossy and shiny at the moment. Sorry about the focus of the camera, that's a bit better. But once that's dry, that will dry flat, and that'll look great. So next up we're going to work on the paintwork. As I explained earlier, we really struggled to leave the dents and the dings and the marks, so we've repainted the tank and also the side panels as we replace those. And this looks kind of scary, so we've roughed up the surface to allow us to apply decals. Not my favourite job, this, I must admit. It's one of those jobs you just got to take your time, get one side on, and then use the marks and use your mounting points for the right side to match the left side. So we're just using a mixture of soapy water, a little bit of dish soap or washing up liquid if you're from England. And once we've got that on and we've smoothed out all the bubbles, we can carefully match up the edges. Now I did actually have the top graphic in the wrong place. I had it overlapping the bottom graphic. And the little black lines, the pinstripe lines, didn't quite match up, so I just off camera just reversed that round and reapplied it on top. But the back edges are good. It's always an exciting point now, because when it's also wet and you've got the sort of soapy water on there, you get a feeling for what it's going to look like once the clear coat's applied. So we've got both sides done. Back to the painter. We'll turn our attention now to the side covers. I've already done one. Again, you can see it's kind of flat, looks a little bit dull, but same process. Soapy dishwater, just take your time, wet the back of the decal so it floats nicely on top. Once you've rinsed out all of the air bubbles, you can carefully peel back the cover that's on the top, it's on the front face of the decal, and just gently get it nice and wet so that it falls off, and as you pull it away carefully, leaves the decal in place. So there we go, paint's back, clear coat's on, and we've actually decided to skip the final sort of wet sand. Actually, I really like the finish that's left. It's just straight from the gun, so there's little bits of orange peel in place, but I actually quite like it. It looks very original. It doesn't look overdone, but painter's done a great job applying the clear, finishing it off, and I can't wait to get those installed on the bike. Next up, the side stand and centre stand look really grim, and with everything else starting to look really nice, when you put the bike on the side stand or on the centre stand, these sort of horrible rusty pieces stuck out. So we've got both of those stripped off. We'll give them a coat of gloss black, get those back on the bike, and that'll make a big difference. So I think at the end of part 2 we cleaned up the other side of the cylinder head just to remove some of the crusty old lacquer that's sitting on the heads. To do this job properly, you really need to lift the cylinder head cover off the bike, but it's not actually possible to do it in the frame. The frame rail gets in the way. So we'll just take our time, we'll remove the screws one at a time, we'll replace those with some new JIS screws. It will mean we've got to polish and look after this. It will go dull and it will oxidize and go flat again if we leave it, but if we stay on top of it, it'll look a lot better than it is now. We're also just going to clean up the valve caps. We got the old lacquer off, gave them a vapor blast, and we'll just polish, bring them back to the original kind of finish, and overall the heads that just peep out either side of the tank should look really good. Just slide the tank on. Always a sense of excitement, and we know we're nearly there to get the fuel line connected up. Got a new petcock, just missing the spring which is at the zinc plater, along with a few other nuts and bolts, but we'll get the protective spring on the fuel line, and then just get the tank hooked under that new rubber we fitted earlier. If you're putting new side panels on a bike, I always recommend just changing the rubbers. It's a few dollars, but it will stop you having problems with breaking the tabs off the side covers in future. They look great. So before we take the bike outside, let's put it in the sunlight. I've got to say I'm really happy with the finish. The paint, always putting the tins and the side covers on it, it just makes a massive difference, and it's really transformed this CB750. Not the most popular bike, I've got to say, of the 750s, but I really like the colour. It's so 70s, and really happy with the way it's turned out. You can see how the heads have just improved that stick out either side from the tank there. It's worth spending a few minutes polishing those heads. The seat really transformed it. Again, not an expensive addition. So we are going to take the 3 left covers off actually and just give those a polish and ceramic clear. I'm not going to be able to live with those looking like that, and I think we'll be able to get a lot of those scratches out. They're not too deep, but I've ordered new gaskets for those. They should be in a few days, so it'll be a little job that we can do sometime next week. Front forks look good, they're the original, so new fork seals into the legs and refinishing the legs, they look fantastic. It always makes a big difference to the front of a bike, and we've left the brush finish that was original from the factory. So I've got to say I'm really pleased with the final results. The paintwork just doing that's made such a difference, and cleaning up those side covers will really finish off the left hand side beautifully. The original chrome looks good, really happy with how it looks, and I think it's going to be just a really nice runner rider. It's a bike that I can ride and use. I'm not going to be too anxious about leaving it anywhere. It's not going to be super valuable, but really glad to have saved this one, and it'll be interesting now just to have a look at all the costs, see how much we spent, and see what the damage was. So I get a lot of calls at the shop with people asking how much it costs to get this old 4-cylinder bike back on the road, and I guess the numbers don't lie. In part 1 and part 2, almost $1,500 and nearly $1,600 to make the bike run and safe to ride. Yep, there's some cosmetic things you can knock out here, and there are some things you can do cheaper by buying non-Honda parts, but overall, project total including paint is just over $4,000, so you can decide if it was worth it or not. I think it was. I'm glad we've saved another one from the scrap heap and we've brought this bike back to life. All that leaves us left with to do now is to get it outside in the sun, put on a helmet, take it for a ride down the road and see how she rides. So that's it, it's a wrap on the CB750. I hope you enjoyed this series. I hope you found it interesting to see what it costs to get one of these beauties back on the road. And I hope you'll like the video, give us a subscribe and come back and see us again soon. Thanks for watching.